Hello. This week in the Healing and Intuitive Awareness group here on Ajatakasa, we're talking about our emotional center. So I did a post the other day talking about how important the second chakra or the emotional center in the body, and that is located, by the way, in the lower abdomen, below the belly button and the pelvic area, right there in the center of the lower abdomen. And this part of our body, our emotions, this energetic center is our emotions, and it helps us understand what's true or right for us. It helps us find what in life gives us a sense of purpose, whether we feel enlightened and excited about it, or we have that no, not for me kind of a feeling. So our feelings are very important to drive our life forward and help us understand what we want in life and where we want to drive the car, where we're going, where we want to go to find that fulfillment. And the emotions also help with our inner voice, so that we can, sometimes we have an intuitive insight that comes through that channel. And so in the article, I talked about unexpressed emotions and really focused on how we can express those emotions and let them flow through us so that we get a true message about our own emotions. And on this little short video, I want to talk about that empathic center and how we can protect it, if you will, from foreign energy or other people's energy getting into that space. Because when other people's energy is absorbed into our second chakra, then there's some confusion about what is my emotion, what am I feeling, versus what someone else is feeling or what they would like me to feel. So I'm going to show you just a very short slide to explain a little bit about the empathic center. And let me just get this on slideshow. Oops, here we go. So I like to use this little picture in my classes to depict the chakras because it shows how they are like these little spinning vortexes. And I'm not going to cover all of these today. We're going to be talking about the second chakra in the lower abdomen. But I just wanted to give you a visual for those folks who may not be familiar with it. And just a general overview would be the energy at the top of our head is our space of knowing or our spiritual connection. In the center of our head is our intuition. It's also the space where we visually create. In the throat area is our communication space and our creative expression. In the heart space, here in the center of the chest, is our relationship with ourselves, the energy we have for that relationship with ourselves, as well as other people. Solar plexus in the upper abdomen is our personal power, has the energy for our capability. And this lower abdomen, the emotional center, which is what I'm going to focus on today, is this one that's depicted in orange on the slide. And then, of course, the base of the spine, which is a chakra that points downward, is our physical body, the energy we have for our physical body, and our sense of safety. And what I want to talk about today is how we can own that empathic center, the one shown in orange here, so that we can have that chakra represent the emotions and the energy that is truly ours. We can protect ourselves from absorbing other people's energy when we own it and use intention and visualization or attention to manage that space better. So these tools are great to use to protect yourselves from absorbing other people's energy. So if you're in a crowded room, a space where there's a lot of people moving around, or possibly a lot of psychic or a healing energy in that room, it's great to use this tool. Or if you're with someone in your life who's very emotional in that moment, it's great to use some tools to protect the space. And when we manage our empathic center with a tool I'm going to show you. It allows our emotions to reflect our own body's response and feelings rather than someone else's. So that confusion about what is my feeling tends to become more clear. And when we use a tool to close down or manage the emotional energy better in a crowded room, it allows our energy to flow up into our upper chakras. So when we do have an empathic uh, intuition or an empathic message, we can move that energy up into the upper chakras and have a little more clarity about what it is. And it opens our intuitive pathways. It opens that channel so that we have that pathway set in the body. So the way we can manage that space better is to close it down a little bit with a visual image. So we can use the image as a vortex, like in this picture, the vortex is wide open, and we can close the vortex down just with our imagination into kind of a small little tube. I like to imagine it that my second chakra, which is very wide, closes down into a very small tube. We can also use the image of a camera lens. Some of my students like to use the camera lens. As opposed to being an open camera lens, it becomes a very small camera lens. And what this does, it starts to close the chakra down so that foreign energy can't enter that space. And we can imagine that it might be closed down to about 10% of an opening. So you can use any of these visual pictures here. I'm going to stop sharing. And so we wouldn't want to have our emotional center locked down or closed down all the time. But it's a great tool that we can use for those occasions when we're in a very crowded room, when other people are very emotional, and we can just close that down with our visual image into a very tiny tube. Another way that we can imagine it is sometimes in my classes, I like to use the Veggie Steamer. This is a much bigger base than our chakra is. The chakras are only about the size of a quarter, down like the second chakra in the lower abdomen is about the size of a quarter. But we can imagine that if it's open, it's just going to close in to a nice small dimension to protect foreign energy from getting into that space. So I'm going to lead you through a short little exercise to just imagine it. So let's practice. I'm going to invite you to just feel kind of quiet, be in your body, feel the chair or the couch behind you, and let your body settle into that space. Just relax. Let your eyes close down. You can be grounded and centered in any way that you would like to be grounded and centered. And then we can imagine, just with a visualization in your mind's eye, that's all it is, that spinning vortex there down in the lower abdomen, kind of the center of the lower abdomen, which might be a spinning wide vortex. You can imagine it just starts to close down, 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 down into a very small tube. So it's a very small opening. You can even imagine that it's about 10% open. Or maybe you prefer to use the camera lens that's wide open and just starts to close down into a very small opening. Just let yourself set for a while, a moment, and see how that feels to your body. You might feel a little more calm, more relaxed. If you're in a crowded room, this kind of a tool will allow all of your focus and attention to come up into the upper chakras. It also allows, if you're with a friend or someone in your life who is experiencing high emotionality, that you can connect with them in a more intuitive way and understand what's happening and support them without falling in to the painful energy. Now, the lower chakra won't stay closed down for very long. When you get up and move around, or maybe you leave the room, or you're on your way home, or you just decide, if you want, your lower chakra just pop back open to its natural state. And if you want to, you can even intend right now that the chakra begins to open back up into its natural state. I invite you to practice this in a quiet space so that it becomes a little bit familiar to you. And then when you're in a situation where you need the tool, you can use it and visualize it by just shutting your eyes for a moment. You can even be in a busy room and just imagine you close your eyes and watch your chakra close down into that small tube. Or you can visit the bathroom and find a quiet space there where you can do the exercise and then go back out into the room. So I hope that's been helpful. And if it is, you can go ahead and make a mention in the comment there on the YouTube. I'd love it if you joined my YouTube channel. Click subscribe so that you'll get all the videos that I'm going to be posting. And if you're part of the Ajata Casa app, you'll be seeing all of my posts and information in the Healing and Intuitive Awareness group there on the app. And my website is www.energetichealingarts.com. And I hope to see you soon. And I hope this tool is helpful.